Beyond the Fairway podcast presented by Genesis. Will, I'm so proud. We got the bigger, littler version homie coming in here today. You know, CC Sabathia is going to come in here and chop it up with us. Can't wait to get to that interview, man. Had a blast talking to him out in Tahoe. But again, I see that you're not on set. Will, you are Will Lowry to go. Where you at, cuz?
Man, first and foremost, CC Sabathia, bigger little homie. both CC Sabathia can beat that ass, so it don't even matter. I don't want that little homie be, skewed, misguided in any way.
It was a slant.
But I'm here in Tampa, man. I'm here in Tampa. It's the final leg of our season-long points race of 4 tournament series of the Underrated Golf Tour.
Okay,
and this is going to be an exciting 2 days because these kids are vying for 12 spots to compete in the Curry Cup on the boys and girls, 24 total, but 12 between boys and girls.
Oh, I didn't notice.
And
12.
Yeah, man, it's going to be absolutely amazing, and you can feel the competition in the air on this one. You know, you can see these kids are not a lot of laughter. Usually, hey Will, we here. What's going on, man? Thank you for bringing us here, man. Tell all the staff and everybody. Now it's like, hey Will, how are you? I'm like, oh, you focus. Okay. All right, I'm gonna leave you alone. You know me, I'm always hugging and kissing the parents. Hey, how you doing, Mr., Mrs., Mrs., everything. But not right here. I'm gonna let y'all be and let y'all get the good vibes and everything going. What's going on with you, man?
Oh, just I got knocked down. I'll be honest with you. I had the vid, man. The vid hit me hard. 2 weeks on the road, 3M, then Rocket Mortgage last week, and then this previous week I've set my ass down. But I feel like I had COVID light, so I'm very proud to have had it. Get vaccinated, be vaccinated, and boosted. That no question helped me out, Will. But this was an exciting past weekend on all the tours. And before I even get into like everything, the ladies, first up are the ladies playing in Muirfield out in Scotland. Ashley Buhai beats NG Chun to playoff to get her first major. And I'm going to spin this just a little bit, Will, because I love first-time major champions. I feel like that's when you really see the excitement.
Absolutely. I mean, you think Colin Morikawa, you think Ben Curtis. I'm going throwback there,
Wow.
But
Jean Van de Velde.
I know.
Yeah, in my mind he won and then he tricked it. But Lowry got the W, but I get Lowry. All right, we'll say Lowry. He got the W.
Fuzzy Zeller. I think he won his.
I don't.
Well, he won the Masters the first year he.
Yeah, but I don't want to talk about Fuzzy. He's. I'll just eat my watermelon, chicken, and greens. I said it. Damn it, that's what he said.
You have to come on now, Fuzzy. He's a night. He didn't mean it like. I mean, okay. It's just a bad joke that came out wrong. But he's a great dude. He's a great dude. You gotta
Let's get back to Ashley. God dang it.
I know, but Doug, it's been 30 years.
This is beyond the fairway, cuz we keep it all the way 100.
Fuzzy. He's warm and fuzzy now.
Nah, he ain't warming nothing now. I he did not get a pass for me. But shouts out to Ashley getting the W over there at Muirfield. And you know what? I appreciate, how far Muirfield has come to allow. I hate to say allow, but for years it's a men's only club, and no women were allowed to play, and they've turned the corner, and now we just had the AIG Women's Open Championship over there, and I loved it, man. I appreciate seeing her get the W. But now we'll jump across the back of that. We'll jump back across the pond, Will. Joohyung Kim, who is Tom Kim. I don't like, he wants to be Tom. Thomas the Tank Engine. I love it. This kid started, and I said kid because he's 20. So I'm grown and he's still a kid. 20 years old, starts a tournament, Will, with a quadruple bogey. And that's back in your neck of the woods. Like that's in that golf course. This guy starts with a quadruple 8 and then goes on to win a tournament by 4. What in the world?
Man, talk about perseverance. I started a tournament with a quadruple. I can tell you I didn't win that joint. I can tell you I won that joint. But just talk about perseverance, man. You think about it. Green's regulation percentage. He was in 94, just less than 95%.
No big deal.
It was 4.5 on strokes gained putting.
No big deal.
Those are the stats that are needed to get done. Those stats need to get done. So I was excited. It kept me on the my edge of my seat. On Sunday. So I was
61,
I was all involved.
Final round 6. That's how you go out there and get it. Shot 27. That kid shot 27. Yeah, par 30. I get it on the front line. Par 70 overall. 35. But he shot 27 on the front.
I mean, shoot. Like I say, anytime I'm close to 30, my heart started racing. But 27, shit. I was writing a movie, and the character was about to shoot a 27, and I was like, nah, that ain't real life.
That ain't real. Well, it is for Tom Kim.
Exactly.
It's funny. I got to follow him last week at Rocket, or week before last at Rocket Mortgage there. I want to say on a Saturday round, and it's the first time I had got a chance to meet him. Cool cat, man. Kid's cool as a fan. Other side of the pillow, whatever you want to say. But one thing that I really appreciate, especially that you mentioned the strokes gained putting number, I've never seen him leave a putt short. And I think that youthful exuberance, I ain't leaving nothing short. I'm gonna go ahead and get this to the hole. Whatever. You saw what he did on 18 today. He hit it 30 feet by the hole and knocked that down to make a par, shoot 61. No fear on the greens, Will.
But you think about it, it can't be any fear because the guy you can see where his momentum in his I guess his.
You're not about to say chutzpah, are you?
No, I'm trying to say something different from chutzpah. His gait is changing a bit, right? I mean, think about it. The AT&T Byron Nelson, he had a top 20. He also in the Genesis Scottish Open, he had top 5. So this guy right here is starting to
top 5. He finished 3rd. Yeah, I feel you.
Well, I mean, I say still top 5.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a big deal.
It is okay. Well, top 3. Excuse me.
Okay.
Give him
his flowers.
I am gonna give his flowers, but either way, you can start to see he's starting to realize like, hey, I can play. He's starting to smell himself, sniff himself. Anytime you get a chance to sniff yourself, that's pretty solid.
Well, how about this? Amanda Renner asked him after the tournament, will you accept the PGA Tour invitation? And he said, abso-damn-lutely. You won a tournament, you get to be a member. He's got an exemption for 2 years. He's playing in the Masters. He's playing in the Tournament Champions. I mean, the guy, he wasn't in this field last week. Now he's in the field. And guess what I find really interesting, especially this time of the year, Will? Richard Fowler. Richard Fowler is now the 125th ranked player in FedEx Cup points.
Who would have thought?
So Ricky, because Tom won as a non-member, it shifted everything out. Ricky's now in the number, bumped Matt Wallace out. So I'm very interested to see what goes down next week at Memphis because now it starts to get tight.
Absolutely. And thing now is they're going to start acting like the kids on the underrated tour. I don't think it's going to be a lot of conversation.
Not a lot of highs.
Because these guys are definitely trying to get the BMW. And then, so on from there. He had a little head nod.
Yeah, getting the old.
But going back to Mr. Kim, man, the dude has been all over the world, Doug.
His game travels.
He's been to all 4 corners of the world.
Yeah.
And now he's got a spot on the PGA Tour. Just think about
crazy.
that.
It's
Just
crazy.
Think about our mini tour days. We've
Carpe
been
diem.
all over the states. but it just I really appreciate when a player game travels.
Yeah. No, I can't. Agreed. Because I know a lot of our friends' games that they travel in certain states. They may not, bounce outside of state lines, but
sometimes their game got tracking device on the state, just can't leave.
Game on house arrest, like no, not going across that state line.
Their game's like, man, my game don't travel on vacations that far, so no.
Well, let's talk about somebody's game that does travel. CC Sabathia, get yourself in here. It's time to go beyond the fairway. Presented by Genesis. Beyond the Fairway podcast presented by Genesis, and we are joined by I mean, a dude I look up to, man, CC Sabathia, man. What's up, C?
I love you, dog. You just turned into Anchor Man.
Yeah, but,
he went from regular voice to...
Mark Gumble, dog. I love it, dog. It's so funny.
It's the cameras, man.
No, I love it.
He went Mark, Mike, Tirico Gumble.
I try to show my range. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it was good.
Yeah,
You know, in case like Kira, twists an ankle, I can step in.
Yeah.
I try to be safe. You know, it's like, oh, we can trust him.
Now go back. Exactly.
He's one of them we can trust.
He's good. We got to get him in here to keep the others out.
I love it. That's like, you got to put on that voice, you know what I'm saying? When you're calling, whatever, or the phone voice, you know what I'm saying?
You heard it here.
But that's one thing about golf is they don't know when we make it tee time and you put the voice on, they don't know who you are till you get to the first tee. I was like, I'm William. No, you're not. So it's kind of funny.
This week, see, we've been talking about kind of how people are making golf their thing and coming out of the league. You seem to just jump right in, both feet, make a splash in the industry, man. Like, what was it about this game that kind of like was like, I got to do that?
I think just being able to play with anybody, the handicaps even it out so you can play with anybody, the travel, and just it's a fun game to play. It's a game that you can never master. It's kind of like baseball. It's the same thing with pitching. You get better with time, and the more you play, and you learn little things about the game, so you never really master it. So I'm early in my career. My golf, I just started 3 years ago, so I'm seeing improvement, so I love it.
So, like, when you say see improvement, I mean, do you have a practice regimen yet, or have you taken the baseball practice and, transition to golf yet, or are you still taking kind of light?
No, I got, like, a little practice regimen where I could, I go to the range, and now I have an alignment stick. Like, I used to go to the range and just get loose.
And just swing.
You know what I'm saying?
You got a stick now.
I got, like, a little stick. I got, it's starting to get, it's starting to come around. So I feel like you guys see me at different stages. Like, you guys saw me last year. I couldn't get the ball off the ground. You saw me at Silverleaf. I was striking a little better in Arizona. And I feel like if you watch me now, you could just see the progression of how, it's getting a little better for me.
I got to say, though, I do admit, your walk is a little different out here. Last year your head was on a swivel. But now I see, like, I know what I'm about to do.
I feel pretty good.
We're going to at least get 35 points.
You know what's crazy is that I just realized that everybody sucks at golf, bro. It's hard.
And they suck in their own way.
Exactly. Even the pros are, like, all over, like, knockdown shots. Like, so like when I came out here last year, I was embarrassed about my game, I feel like. But after, like, watching golf and, being around golf so much, everybody hits bad shots. So it kind of is what it is.
I mean, how is that, though, from, like, a confidence standpoint, when you go from being, like, one of the best in the league, you can throw a ball in a thimble, to coming out and just being trash?
No, it's awesome. You know what I'm saying?
It's freedom, probably.
And, like, as an athlete, like, you guys are athletes, like, I've never been trashed at a sport. You know what I'm saying? So it makes me want to play even more. Before before we came on, I was sitting here, I'm like, man, I want to play again. Like, I have the bug that bad where I'm, like, playing 36 a day now.
I mean, see, you ain't got fit for clubs. Like, he started like a G off top.
So you just said you got the bug. What was it that bit you? How did you get bit?
I think it was just this season. I think after having a long, winter in Jersey, not being able to play, and then I came out to Arizona a couple times. I went down to Florida, and then once the season came and I could go to Alpine every day, I've been there, 4 or 5 days a week for all summer,
but you
man.
You live in Alpine in Jersey.
Yeah,
so
it's close. I can hit my 7-iron to the club.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
So coming from a pitcher, you're very methodical. I want to hear the methodical thought process from baseball to golf. What are you working on specifically?
Right now, specifically, is just putting. Just making sure, like, my putter is, like, coming straight back and going, like, in a line.
Okay.
Because it was going in and, like, when I was pushing it out. So it's just, like, little things like that. It's so much different things to golf. And I'm trying not to overdo it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to hit the feel.
Yeah. Something else going to go.
Exactly. So, like, for me, pitching was all feel. I wasn't very, like, I didn't watch a lot of video. I wasn't very technical. Like, if you show me something, like, if we're on the range and you're right-handed, right, I can stand across from you and I learn visually better. So just keeping that feel and, like, being an athlete is what I want to, try to keep in golf.
So you can't really be happy the way baseball is going with all this TrackMan version of
all the metrics,
and all that.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I like the analytics if you can teach it the right way. I feel like the Dodgers can teach it. I feel like, you have to, you can throw the numbers out there on the TrackMan or Rapsodo and all these different things, but what does that mean? Like, how do I get to those numbers? How do I get in that position to be my best version of myself every time? And I think you need baseball people to teach you that. I don't think the numbers are a bad thing. I just think you need some baseball people to help you understand the numbers.
That's the way I feel when I see some of these amateur golfers with a TrackMan.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you know what you're looking at?
Let me tell you something. Like, I see people walking out here with a TrackMan full swing, and I'm like, what? Like,
you're not good enough to have it.
Yeah, like, I mean, that's just me, though.
Yeah, but, I'm intrigued with your whole story. I watched the documentary, and I'm just intrigued how you were able to turn negative into positive multiple times. When you look back at kind of your path, like how gratifying it is to just be out here in Lake Tahoe playing some G.
Oh no, it's definitely a blessing. I mean, it could have went a couple different ways, a bunch of times, and for me to be able to sit here at 41, sober with my family intact, a son in college, like it's definitely a blessing. Here playing some golf and just enjoying life. I came a long way, man. I grew up in the Crest, I grew up in Vallejo, and to be sitting here in Lake Tahoe now. I mean, it feels like a dream sometimes.
And let's touch on that for a little bit, because there's a lot of people that had experiences like you with alcoholism and maybe not know it or diagnose. You have highs and lows and things. What was that moment for you when it was like, I got to do something about this?
Yeah, no, it was 2015. It was right after we clinched against Boston. And I hadn't drank in a couple of months, and I was like, I'm gonna have a couple, and I drank the whole weekend. And it was just, I was at the point where, I think everybody rock bottom is different. I think doesn't have to be some horrific car crash or a DUI or these different things. For me, it was just I wanted to keep my family intact, and it was hurting my relationship with my family, and I wanted to be able to stop. I couldn't stop myself, so. I think, a lot of people can see my story and, see that it doesn't have to be this catastrophic event for you to stop drinking. You may just be tired of being hungover, what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Which I was.
Well, how has golf helped you in your sobriety?
I think it's been huge for me. I can wake up, I get a 7:10 tee time, what I'm saying, and I'm up and I'm moving. After that I work out, and then if I feel good enough, I'll go back and play another 18. So it just keeps me busy, and a lot of people drink out on the course and do different things, but
I was gonna say, it's gotta be tough too.
It doesn't bother me. Okay. No, it doesn't. I just know it's not for me. You know what I'm saying? I had 35 years of it. You know what I'm saying? I got 35 years of experience.
You're good.
I know I'm good with
it. And I want to talk too. When you left the league, you went through like this metamorphosis. You went from just a touch husky to looking like you can take on the Miz in a wrestling match. Like,
I'm almost saying you can go back to playing.
What was kind of the motivation about that? Because most people get bigger when they leave the league.
No, I'm gonna be honest. The motivation was being able to walk the damn golf course. At that weight that I was, with my knee the way it was and everything, I wouldn't have been able to come out here and play
it can't carry
4 or 5
weight.
days.
Yeah.
No chance. So it was just wanting to feel better and be healthier. And to be honest, for reals, fitting the clothes off the rack. I can go into Neiman Marcus and buy some clothes off the rack now. I ain't got to buy some special orders. You know what I'm saying? So
you don't have to give your address. You don't have to give your address here.
Well, look, no, we're talking about clothes. Let's stay there, Will. I see you with the Eastside drip on, and you and Earl and Elijah who need to come on the damn show.
Yep.
How the hell we get CC before Earl and Elijah?
Exactly.
But let's talk about your involvement with the brand and what it means to you and what you're doing for it.
Yeah, Eastside. I mean, Earl and Elijah are like my little brothers, and Eastside Golf, I feel like just represents this kind of new wave of golfers. You know what I'm saying? I think with the pandemic and everything being shut down, I think, golf kind of took a new wave where it's people are out here in hoodies and, yesterday I played in a T-shirt. You know what I'm saying?
I saw that. The tracksuit.
And a tracksuit. So things are kind of different or changing in the apparel of golf because who's playing golf? And I think Eastside is right at the beginning of it. And, for me, I'm never going to come out here and win this tournament or win a tournament, but I'm probably going to be the best dressed.
You're going to be looking good. Absolutely. So when you see Earl and having this systemic change from the clothing aspect and apparel, how do you feel that can implement golf long term? Long term in the future?
No, I think it could be huge. I think, you just getting guys out the celebrities here. You seeing different guys, Steph Curry golfing.
Yeah.
That can inspire some kids to come out and play golf. So it's not just, people watching Tiger or Harold Varner. It's, the guys that are actually playing golf every day.
Absolutely.
Which is kind of our, demographic now. So it's fun to see that, that change in who's coming to the golf course.
I love this question because I don't think professional athletes kind of think of themselves in this light, Will, is do you feel like you're a golf brand ambassador now?
No, absolutely not.
But
no.
you are indirectly, though, bro.
Right. I mean, that's my
You
point.
really are.
I mean, I guess, but for me, it's just wanting to. It's like like when you see the guy at the basketball court that comes out there, has got all the Jordan stuff on, but can't shoot a free throw. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
that's gonna be me. Like I'm gonna come out here fly. I may shank some stuff, but I'm gonna feel good about how I look. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I never thought about that, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, I guess people look at what we wear. You know what I'm saying?
What you post,
people see what JR and the Lululemon or the Kith and TaylorMade or the Eastside stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I never thought about it, but yeah.
Man, there's a kid in my neighborhood, man, who was a huge fan of you, and when he knocked on my door, asked for my old hand-me-downs, because he said his favorite pitcher plays golf. He was talking about you. So that right there, you are a golf ambassador. Maybe you not like it or not, but you are. So
that's awesome. No, I mean,
it.
that's great that a kid is wanting to play golf because I'm loving the sport now. So no, I mean, hopefully I can get my son to play now. You know what I'm saying?
That's kind of I think that's our hope too with the pod. Will is I'm sitting with Will Lowry and CC Sabathia because of golf, right? And you talk about that young man who saw C and wanted to play. I think being brown folk just with a golf club, regardless if you have a platform and people see it, they feel like they can be like you.
That's another thing we always say. If you can't see it, you can't believe it. So and the fact that what you're doing, man, it does light years
for the game.
No, for the game.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely,
thank you.
Man.
Absolutely. Just and the thing of it, it's about you being your authentic self, right? It's one of those things. It's exciting to see because, like you said, do you know how far along you are in golf in 3 damn years, bro? I think that's like the understatement. You're playing in the celebrity event in front of cameras and audience. I mean, I know you're used to that shit, but
okay, quick question.
I get more nervous when it's quiet.
Okay, so
really?
now, let me ask you a question. Now, given the fact that you remember the first hole last year. Now, I'm sure you was nervous.
I was super nervous.
Do you think you'll be as nervous?
No, because I was nervous I didn't sleep the week leading up to that Friday. No, seriously. And then I got to the tee box, and I was playing with David Wells and Greg Maddux, and I was fine. It was just I was nervous about who I was playing with.
Really?
More than the people. I don't care. These people know I'm not a golfer. So I don't care that they know that I suck at golf.
That's
you know what I'm saying? It was more about my peers and who I'm playing with. Why is he here?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, but after I seen it was Boomer and Maddux, I'm like, oh,
that's home.
So I was
that's
fine,
home.
You know
Right.
And I think, like I said, I don't care about being bad at golf. So I think where I'm at, I don't think I'll be nervous.
All right,
I'm excited.
We'll change it then. How are your podcasting skills? Because I know you jumped into the podcast space. But I'm glad you're here on ours. But talk a little bit about your pod and how you got into that project.
No, I love the pod. I got to do a podcast called R2C2 with Ryan Rucco. And we've been doing it since 2017.
Oh, very nice.
And it's fun, man. I love to talk sports. I love to talk culture. I'm a huge fan of a lot of different things. And, me and Ryan have a lot in common. Obviously, we don't look alike. We didn't grow up in the same, he grew up in the suburbs. I grew up in the hood.
Yeah.
But, fundamentally, we like a lot of the same things. And I think that's what makes our pod, interesting to people.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think, man, I'm hood.
I'm not.
He's not. I mean, we know that.
Yeah.
But we
It
match.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
And when you can have a lot of things in common, it makes for a good pod and it makes for good chemistry.
Yeah, and that's why again too why I love the game of golf, because you can take a president, a drug addict, a housewife, and Will Lowry, and they can go play golf. And they could go play golf. But I want to touch on something, because I had a conversation with your boy Aaron Hicks fairly recently. We talked about the diversity in baseball and how the numbers are starting to dwindle. So, and I found it fascinating, because when you think of baseball, basketball, football, you think of these majority sports, if you will, and having access to it. What's from your seat? What's some of the reason why black and brown folk have fallen out of baseball?
I think it's just the access. I think baseball has turned into a sport like golf.
It's parallel.
Where you need a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You need a lot of money to play baseball on a high level. You need a rap soda or a track man. These kids are hitting with that stuff to get these numbers, to figure out, their swing and stuff. So I think we need to, do better as a generation. My generation of players need to do better at getting these kids more access, and just making it easier. There are kids playing. I thought when I was when I was playing, I was like, man, it's not a lot of black kids playing baseball, and we need to do something about this. There are. I was just out on the circuit with my son for the last 3 summers, and there's a lot of kids playing. We just got to help them. You know what I'm saying? We got to get them to access, and we got to make sure that they're getting the same exposure as some of these other kids.
Yeah, and that's the kind of same thing that runs parallel with golf. Is on the introductory level, like there's a lot of African Americans, black and brown, are participating, but as you go higher in the sport, man, it starts to dwindle and slim down. And the thing about it, man, you just got to find a sustainable pathway so they can exceed in that sport that got high barriers. So,
and for us in baseball too, I mean, a lot of kids play baseball from 5 to 12, right? Little league. But then there's nothing in between 12 and high school. So we need to figure out that gap, because we lose a lot of kids at 13, 14, 15 at those 3 years before they go to high school. So that's something else too.
I'm in the middle of doing adult t-ball, and I'm trying to get my swing right. You know what I'm saying?
you hit cross-handed too?
Yeah, man. I'm in adult cold pitch right now, and he's trying to get me to change.
No, man. But CC, we gotta let you jump. We know you got more golf to play, but we gotta send you out of here the only way that we know how. We call it Rap Foursome right here, Beyond the Fairway podcast presented by Genesis. CC, you're gonna go play golf with 4 rappers. Y'all playing a 5-ball. Y'all playing an Alpine. They don't dead or alive, any generation. It doesn't matter. I need to know CC Sabathia. Who are you pulling up to the golf course with?
It's definitely gonna be 2 Chainz.
Atlanta guy.
It's definitely gonna be Mac Dre. And Jeezy is the foursome.
That's
hold on, come back.
That's probably more unique.
Come back with that again. I gotta hear that one more time.
So Mac Dre, Jeezy,
2 Chainz.
and 2 Chainz. I gotta ask why. I gotta go deep.
Yeah,
we never asked why.
We never asked why.
2 Chainz is he's the Too Short of this generation. Simple rap, be killing, beats are crazy. I feel like me and 2 Chainz are best friends, and he just don't know it yet.
That's it, right?
You know what I'm saying?
All right, 2 Chainz.
That's my dog.
Matter
Like,
fact,
Chainz, if you watch this, if you see this, holla at me, bro.
That's
like,
it.
I feel like we in a crew, and he don't know it yet. You know what I'm saying? Jeezy's just a cool dude. He loves golf, and he's just fun to hang out with. So I think that'll be a fun foursome.
I'm surprised you didn't put Hov in there.
Nah, man, Hov is janky, and his swing is probably trash, like lefty trash.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I'm saying? Like,
I can see that. He might not have a blueprint for that one.
Lefty,
He might not have a blueprint for that one, dog.
Hey, well, CC, how do people follow along what you're doing and all the work that you got going on?
Push the podcast.
The podcast is R2C2. You can catch it on all the platforms. YouTube. We have weekly. It comes out every Thursday, and you can catch me on Instagram. Just CC Sabathia on Instagram. Follow me.
That's it. Follow along. We do. I'm waiting on these shoes to come my way, but it's all right. I don't wear 16, but it's okay.
Man, I can't never. I've been waiting for something in the mail for the last 2 years. It's Pony Express. It ain't there yet. It's coming though.
Will's so interesting because he down with the Curry clan and wear Nike, and he waiting on all the drip.
I'm about to get kicked out every 5 minutes. Dog. Oh, I hate it, bro.
Hey,
it's hard to put the Under Armours on.
We appreciate you, boss.
I didn't say that. I love Under Armour.
Beyond the Fairway is presented by Genesis Motor America and the 2022 GV80. Luxurious design meets intuitive versatility. Make the game your own, not somebody else's own. Make it yours. Will, I love CC Sabathia. Like,
absolutely.
You know what?
We all do.
CC's one of the richest people that treat you like just down to earth, like we about to go get some cornbread. You know what I'm saying? Like, very cool cat, very smart dude, and I appreciated some of the insights he let us know about. He accepts being trash in the game because he knows he's only 3 years in, but in his trashness, he's not gonna let himself look unfly. So,
yeah, I mean, well, you said he one of the rich dudes that treat you normal. A lot of rich people treat us normal, but he's one of the rich dudes that you don't know if he's rich. Like,
I mean, he did buy his wife a Lamborghini truck for Valentine's Day.
Well, see, I didn't know all that. I just know that he, piggyback off what you said, he is one of the humblest guys.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, he's a. You can tell he's passionate about this game. You know, when we were right after the interview, we would go hang out with him at his hotel and everything, and along with Eastside and Earl Cooper and Elijah Wan, but. You can really see the passion that he has for, the game of golf and making sure that everybody has equal opportunity in the game of golf. And that right there you know, and think about it. Coming from baseball, they're parallel campaigns that baseball and golf has. You know, trying to grow the sport in diverse communities and underserved. So
Yeah.
I can really see that this guy, he's a perfect ambassador for the game. He may not want to claim that he's an ambassador for the game, but damn it, he is.
Yeah.
You know, when I had a kid that said, you know, he's playing golf because one of his favorite pitchers was playing golf.
I enjoyed that. That was a nice touch too. Like that really brought that home. Will.
Yeah,
like,
he has accepted though, Doug. He got accepted. I know he may not want to accept, but he's an ambassador for the game. So the only time I'm gonna tell you, shut the hell up and accept it, cuz. And I mean that with all disrespect. With all due respect.
He means that with all disrespect.
All due respect. That's a disrespect.
He said, I mean that with all disrespect.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
you meant that. You meant that. But I think it goes to show you though the power of the game. Like games, like, you know, when you reach a mountain in one game and then you just come over to another, like you do assume some responsibility to grow the new game that you're in. And even though if he doesn't want to, you don't have to be, but at the same time, your neighbor looked up to him and that brought, you know, he came to your door, wanted some clubs, and, you know, it is what it is. Time now for Make the Game Your Own, presented by Genesis. And this week, I want to highlight, we've already talked to him about him in this episode, Will, but we're going to talk about Olajuwon Ajanaku and Earl Cooper and Eastside Golf. Look, these two Morehouse brothers have came together to unify and have built something that is going to be a staple, or it is already a staple, Will, in the game of golf, in this Eastside, in this era. And what I find amazing is through just having a logo that looks like where we come from, the amount of people that have gravitated toward it, wear it, support it, and how many people are actually wearing it on and off the golf course.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a lifestyle brand that continuously inspires the culture, and that's what makes it so important in what they're doing. And you know, when you see Earl and Olajuwon, you can tell they have a pulse on the industry. Mm-hmm. They have a pulse on how to, you know, expand the game of golf through the avenues of what they're doing that is so great. And that kind of going back to what we said earlier, you know, how can you grow through the game? And that's pretty much what they're doing right here in front of us. And I'm so happy because when I just saw these guys at the Hoopty event in Charlotte, North Carolina, that was taking place at Carmel Country Club. And, you know, a lot of celebrities, and you see a lot of celebrities and random people who aren't popular in the game coming up to Earl and Olajuwon. Hey, man, I'm a huge fan of your clothes. I'm a huge fan of, you know, what you're wearing, your gear. And I'm just like, I loved it. Like, I never thought that Bob will come up and like, I'm about Eastside, fellas.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, wait a minute. And that is connecting cultures. That's all it's about. And shout out to those guys, man. I love them, my brothers, man. And Earl was so nervous in this golf tournament. Well, that's a whole nother conversation for another day.
Hey, we'll let it go. But hey, Eastside Golf, those guys are making the game their own, Will. And Olajuwon, I saw him in Tahoe. He had that little vest with the hoodie on the back. I'm about to get that from you. I don't know. I think it came out this week. But anyway, Put one with my name on it. And they got the Jordans dropping, man. What other brand have you ever seen do a collab with Jordan? I don't even think Louis Vuitton did pull that off.
Right. And they got a show on Hulu coming out, a little documentary, whatever.
Hey,
they killing it.
They doing their thing. And that's how you make the game your own, presented by Genesis. I also find it interesting that CC doubled down on Eastside Golf as a mentor and investor and just a big homie to Earl and Olajuwon. I mean, when we got to hang out with them for the time that we did, waiting on Anthony Anderson, I'm just saying, let's just put that out there, waiting on Ant, you really felt the community between them all, and you really felt like they want to do something to broaden the game, and their way to do that is through apparel.
Yeah, absolutely. And that goes back to what we talk about all the time. You can find different ways of broadening the game, you know, and people always talk about, you know, you got to grow the game. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with growing the game, but how can you get the game to help grow you as an individual?
That's gospel. You know? Come on, say that.
And we say it all the time. It's a little bit cliche, but if you really catch the notion of it, the gist of it, the crux, that it's an $84 billion industry, yes, but you can find something that you have in your skill set without being in the fairway, swinging the club to really help benefit the game. But it can help you grow. It can help you find ways to upward social mobility. Something I always say, but it holds true.
Yeah, we talk about golf being a game, a bridge to people, but it's also a bridge to diverse thought. Different people. We've said it before. I'll say it again. There's the only sport where you can have a drug dealer, a pastor, a soccer mom, and a Will Lowry go out and play golf together and enjoy their time. There's no other playing field in this world provided by any other thing you can do except golf, where everybody comes together and they all learn something from each other during that block of time that they get to spend. So, I appreciate CC, and I appreciate also him understanding that I'm a superstar over there, but I'm not over here. But I'm going to enjoy this, and I'm going to enjoy the process to get better.
The process, and given the fact where he's from, he understands process. He relished in the process, And I think he's really not think. I know he's the perfect coming from a pitcher who worked hard in his respective discipline. I know he really will not disrespect the process. He's patient in the process. So that's it's delayed gratification.
There you go.
He's definitely on, and it's a beautiful game. Again, it's the only game where Mark Gumbel, Brian Gumbel, Mike Tirico, and Doug Smith can all be.
Oh man,
can all be on. Nah,
I hate you. Yeah, and I'm sure y'all heard that too. Speaking of Mike Tirico, interesting statement, Will. So I'm at Rocket. I'm coming off the green. I'm new to the broadcast. Let's just be honest. I'm new to the whole broadcast space. People think I don't know what it is, but people give me way too much credit. I'm new. I got to do an interview with Tony Finau. Coming off, I followed him after the first round. Right, that's who I had. I was on the ground. Boom. PJ Tour Live, ESPN Plus. Boom. Waiting on Tony to come out. They're like, Doug, we're going to get you to do an interview. We're going to bring in PJ Tour Radio. You're going to double mic it. So you got to hold two mics like you double fist in Coronas. And then you're going to go and do an interview. So I'm like, cool, whatever. Tony had just come off a win. Great. Tony just come off, good round. Forget what he opened with, maybe 66 or something. Whatever. He comes out of scoring. Tony, let me get you for a couple questions. Blah, blah. Camera comes in. Light goes. Boom. Here I go. Asking questions. They toss it to me. I didn't catch it right. I'm like, Doug Smith here with Tony Finau. Tony. And they're like, whatever. I'll get to that point. Anyway, I do my interview. As I'm starting the interview, I see Tirico ass pop up behind the camera. And I'm like, damn, the GOAT is right here. GOAT. Well, the GOAT did some GOAT stuff. That boy grabbed me by the neck, pulled me to the side and goes, what the hell was that? You didn't reference anything he did during his round. You caught the toss wrong, and you threw it back horrible. Look, this is how you do it. Blah, blah, blah. He spouted it out. And here I am on cloud 9, just getting done talking to Tony Finau and put me smooth back on
reality
first base.
Got you back centered. So like, when he did that, how did it make you feel after you left that conversation with Mike Tirico?
I want another shot. I was like, Tony, come here.
Right.
But here's
very random
though. Hold on. Very random though. 2 days later, Adam Scott shoots 66 on Saturday. I interview Adam Scott coming out of the break. Somehow randomly, the Golf Channel call times are different than the PGA Tour Live call times because I've already been 18 holes and here comes Tirico, got a shirt in his hand. I go to give Adam Scott an interview. Tirico pops his head up behind the camera. I do the interview, took all the notes. Tirico said, better. Walked away. I was like, damn.
That's
I can't
it.
get no love.
That's like I love them veterans, but I hate them at the same time.
Like, come on, man. Give me something. Can I get a half a handshake?
So let me tell you about my veteran. Let me tell you about my veteran, Mark Carnival. Bro, I'll never disrespect this dude. I because he's a pioneer in the game. I appreciate he was Rookie of the Year in 1992. I respect him, but talking about somebody who pissed me the hell off, during our
Hold on, but we got to remember, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Will did make his debut at the previous tournament, so Will.
Yeah, give context to it. Yeah,
Will was on PJ Tour Live as an analyst.
Yeah, so for the viewers that are watching, I was on PJ Tour Live as an analyst for the Rocket Mortgage. I was the analyst. I had my host Reed Fowler, and we had Mark Carnival on as a walker. He was walking the actual course. So myself, Reed Fowler in the studio. Mark Carnival actually in Detroit, walking the course, Detroit Golf Club. And when I tell you, I am so mad that I can't say the word. I'm so mad that I folded under pressure because, yes, I respect Mark, but I'm mad I didn't still voice my opinion about how I feel about a particular situation.
All right, well, set the scene. What happened?
Right. So the happened was, first time doing PGA Tour Live, we had to do flyovers, right? And when we do the flyover, you give them your brief synopsis of the hole, where to avoid, what to guard against, how to attack the hole, where's the pin location, boom. So I always, based off my playing days, I was always conservative, Doug. I'm always the middle of the green guy. I'm always 20, 25 feet. I'll take my chances because I was a good putter, had a great short game. I wasn't tripping. We're talking and we're going back and forth. And as I'm going to the broadcast, I'm talking to the kids, be passive and make sure that, you sit on the green 20 feet. Sometimes 20 feet is aggressive, no matter what course you're playing. If you're PJ Tour, Canadian Tour, whatever, 20 feet can be aggressive. So Mr. Carnival told the producer, and the producer's in my ear, hey, Mark wants to, pretty much piggyback off your statement around being conservative. I'm like, sure, cool. Man, Mark Carnival put me in my place in a way. He said, Will, if you want to be on PG, he didn't say it, Will, but I'm paraphrasing. Basically, Will, if you want to be on PGA Tour, you can't be conservative. You have to be aggressive. Go knock the flag six down. You have to be aggressive. And I get that. He is correct. If you want to be a winner on the PGA Tour, you have to be aggressive. I 100% get it. You can't be scared out there. However, this is where I made a mistake because I bit my tongue and I didn't reply back.
No, what would you have said? Let it out.
I would have said,
it's our show now.
It is our show now. I would have said, if you're on the PGA Tour and your finances are straight, and you got money, and you're playing for trophies, not playing for rent, not playing for phone bill, not playing for insurance. Yes, you do go for the gusto. But when you out there speaking for the mini tour players or trying to get your card, man, you going for the plastic sometimes is not the way to go. It's just not the way to go. So I wish I would have replied and counteract his statement, but
you didn't.
I got scared.
It's all right. We all get punked when we new to broadcast. It's okay. I've been punked. You got punked. Look, we in the punk era right now. Until some other little individuals start popping up around here that we can blast and punk. Right. That's where we at, man. That's.
Hey, what did Carney say to you? Carney said something to you. What did he say? How did he say it?
Oh, be honest yeah. He told me. He said, I think Will's mad at me. Because Carney, I was on the ground, he was on the ground as well, so we caught up during lunch. I'm still hot because we here at the Underrated Golf Tour, and Gary Williams, the great Gary Williams, Golf Channel legend, Morning Drive, is with me, and I told him about that story. He said, "That sounds like Carney." Yeah,
sounds like Carney.
Yeah, but you know what? I think he was trying to also teach you something as well, and
he did.
I think it wasn't. I don't think it was shade. The thing is, Mark Carnival. I'm going to give you some game that he gave me. Carney said to me one time, he goes, Doug, whenever you get advice, and I'm going to cuss, he goes, there's a little truth in every advice, but there's also a lot of bull. So regardless if it pisses you off or makes you smile or happy, find that little bit of truth and say the hell with the rest is bull. And I was like, okay, I'll take that. He's one of them old school kind of
old school,
jewel dropping. Yeah. He just drops, every time he opens his mouth, he's dropping jewels.
Dropping jewels.
But what he was trying to get conveyed to you is that you got to go low and playing. He was telling me that you said safe. No,
yeah,
you said safe, and he wanted to change your word to smart.
Right. And that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
he said Will was saying you got to play safe, and he was like, no, you got to play smart. Smart on some holes is 20 feet, like Will said, but smart on other holes is also aim at the flag. And so
that's true.
He was saying that when you say safe, it locks you into a certain mindset, whereas if you play smart, it opens up more. It's more active and more aggressive.
I get it.
So
I ain't trying to talk about it no more.
But you know what? But he did come to me and say, I think I pissed Will off, and I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
you know what I told him? I'll tell you what I tell him. Not hard to do. It's really not hard to do.
my tongue was bleeding. I ain't gonna front, but I do know that he is one of the greats, and he is very good at what he does. And I'm always going to watch, and I hope I can get under his wing if he lets me. But damn, just give me another lesson. Don't give me that lesson. Give me a different lesson.
We gave you that live lesson. Anyway, we appreciate y'all rocking with us right here Beyond the Fairway, presented by Genesis Golf Channel, NBC Sports. We right here every week. We gonna come back. Anthony was last week. CC's this week. Who's coming up next week? Find out. You gotta tune in. Holla at us and pick up them socials. That's where we at. See you next week.